Good evening, everyone, and I hope you've had a good start to the week. Monday evening, and I tell you what, I couldn't be more excited because I don't know what's on telly tonight, but this is definitely the telly we want to be watching because we've got a fantastic evening ahead, meeting an absolute sensation of an individual who I've been fortunate enough to meet. Well, we haven't met directly yet, but that is all about to happen now for all of you out there. I want to start by acknowledging that I'm actually not in Sydney on my usual Gadigal and Bidigal land. I have just made the drive down to Canberra, where tomorrow morning I'll be doing the official launch of Neighbour Day as an ambassador alongside some of my fellow ambassadors. It's the 20th year of Neighbour Day, which is quite incredible. And I just drove down here and just got in the door. So apologies for being 5 minutes late. I literally had to get in here, get into my room, find the internet, get it all hooked up, hook up with Millie and get on here. So I'm coming to you from Kingston in Canberra, and I'd like to acknowledge this country that I'm on, of the Wiradjuri country, and acknowledge elders past, present and emerging. This evening's talk is a very special one, and it is very much about connection to country, because what MIlly Fornby is doing in her work as a zoologist and as a Shorebird project officer is all about connecting and understanding country. And the interesting thing about it is that Millie gets a bird's eye view because she flies over the top of country, or that's part of her project. I'm particularly excited about this opportunity to introduce you to Millie and hear her story, because we've got a couple of other things in store later this week, which we will come to, but no more time wasting for me. Actually, before we get underway, let's do a little bit of a waterfall. Can you all jump on to the comments bar? Oh, you're already there. Wow, there's 26 comments there already. And I was just going to say, can you, on the count of, type in where you're coming from, which country you're on, which town are you in? Give us both, the country name and the town, and we can see where everyone's coming from. So let's give you a couple of seconds to type it in, and then let's see. Hello, Shannon. Hello, Ian Johnson, Ashley, Veronica, Kerry, Linda Boyd. All right, let's go. Drop it on there, everyone. Drop your comments on. Whereabouts are you coming to us from? Jack Cass is in Hong Kong. Mal Haywood is in Brisbane. Linda Lockyer in Palmwoods. We've got Woy Woy. G'day, Zet. Spencer is up in Noosa. Hello, Spencer. Mount Vincent. Ando. G'day, Bingle Bay. Sharon. Dharawal Country, Oyster Bay. Gundungara in Katoomba. Hello, Geraldine. Wow, look at you all. You're dropping them all in. That is fantastic. Lisa Wren up in Lismore. Kenneth's up in Brisbane. Will Holmes in Vic. Lucy's in Glebe. Wagga Wagga. Bris Vegas. Wootton. Wow, fantastic. Well, we have got people coming out of South Australia, Victor Harbour. Wow, thanks everyone for letting us know. Bungala in Port Lincoln. This is brilliant. What a wonderful reception for Millie. So I'm not going to waste any more time. It gives me great pleasure tonight on a Monday night to bring you a very, very exciting guest. MIlly Fornby from Microlight Millie. We're going to learn all about what Millie is up to. So here she comes. Yes.
Hi. Hi.
Good evening, Millie.
Good evening. Thank you so much for having me on your show, on your Facebook Live.
Oh, it's an absolute pleasure. And I know that everyone from Shell Harbour with Ian or Karen up on Gubby Gubby country on the sunny coast and everywhere in between, we've got a treat for you. And now, Millie, whereabouts are you joining us from?
I'm coming from Newcastle. I'm on a Wabakal country.
And you're actually, so you've moved up there in the last, 5 years or so?
Yeah. So I came over from Perth. I'm originally from Gippsland, so I grew up in Victoria, down in Gippsland, and then I moved over to Perth about 7 years ago for a job over there at the University of WA. And during that time, I came up with this idea for following the shorebirds on migration, and I ended up moving over here to Newcastle about 4 years ago now.
Wow. Now, look, the interesting thing, in order to get everyone into context, tell us a little bit about, I suppose, pull the clock right back. What
Okay.
got you into birds?
Okay. I went to school in a little town called Druin in Gippsland, and one of my primary school teachers there, Mr. Hogben, he used to take us on walks around the school and teach us what all the names of the birds were. And he teaches about the plants as well, and I still love it. And I can remember Mum bought us a copy of What Bird Is That? And we had a pair of gang cockatoos in our front yard, and they come visit the pencil pines every year. And I can remember learning to ID them in the book and just thinking that was the best thing ever. So that pretty much got me into birds. But I probably wouldn't say I was a hardcore birder until I started doing zoology at uni. And then, I kind of got the bird watching bug, and that was it for me.
So what was that, what was your teacher's name?
Mr. Hogben.
Mr. Hogben. So
Yeah.
did Mr. Hogben's influence affect your decision to go to zoology?
Oh, that's really interesting. No, I don't think so. Not so much. I got into zoology in my early 20s, and I started reading Richard Dawkins about evolution and stuff like that, and also, of course, David Attenborough. I think every zoologist would say David Attenborough got them into zoology.
Yeah, exactly. I mean,
Yeah.
what an incredible inspiration he is.
Yeah,
So,
he is.
so how long did you spend studying zoology?
Yeah, I studied zoology at Melbourne Uni I think it ended up taking me 7 years, because I was working part-time and studying part-time for the first few years. And then I also did a master's degree in there as well. So by the time I was finished, it was 7 years. Yeah.
Wow. I mean, that's a solid commitment to study
It was.
right there.
Yeah, and it wasn't my first degree either. So I did a Bachelor of Visual Arts at Monash Uni before that, and majored in tapestry weaving, of all things. And then I worked as a tapestry weaver at the Australian Tapestry Workshop in Melbourne for a while. Yeah. So
Wow.
arts was my first thing, and then I did science. Yeah.
What a wonderful combination, because,
Yeah.
I mean, in reality, as we're going to learn during our conversation, I mean, that art side of what you've done is giving you that capacity to not just visualize, but then find a story thread and layer that story and communicate and connect the artistic side of the science as a communication skill.
Absolutely. Yeah, people often say, oh, arts and science, they're like opposite ends of the spectrum, but they're not. They're really closely connected. And it's so important to be able to create a narrative, as you said, around any science communication. Yeah.
So you finished the zoology course, you did your master's, and when did you become involved with Birdlife Australia?
Yeah, so that's only been recently. So I started.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but I've been volunteering with them for a long time. So I first got into Shorebirds when I began volunteering with the Victorian Wader Studies group in around probably 2014. So coming on 8 years ago now, and I began volunteering for Birdlife and doing things with them as well as part of the Migratory Shorebird program then. But I've only actually been employed by them for a bit over 2 years, but been working with them for a long time.
Now, everyone, here we go. We're going. I'm going to ask Millie. This is a question I've wanted to ask Millie from the moment I learnt about it. And look at this. We've got Rob. Rob is joining us from New Zealand. Good on you, Rob. Wonderful to have you here. And I noticed that Karen said that she had the same book as a child. Wish I'd have absorbed it as well as you. Amazing how much a book can inspire.
That's very true.
And then Amanda's saying artists love to look outside the box. Well, that's exactly it. Now, this is the bit, everyone. Millie, around 2015, we're talking an epiphany.
Yeah.
And if anyone's had an epiphany, just drop it in the chat and we can get to epiphanic moments a little later. But Millie, you had an epiphany which has pretty much crafted your current trajectory and flight path, if I can be so presumptuous.
No, I see what you did there. Yep.
What happened? I love the sound of this, and I'm so keen to hear how this epiphany has affected your life ever since.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so I was working at the University of WA at the time, and I've been talking to one of my colleagues whose brother flies microlights, and he was telling me how his brother wanted to fly around Australia and raise money for the Royal Flying Doctor Service. And then the next day when I was driving to Bunnings for work, I got hit with this idea, because I'd been working in shorebird conservation for a while. I got hit with this idea that I could learn to fly a microlight and follow the shorebirds on migration from Australia.
So that, like, what, did you get hit with the idea at an intersection? Was it
I
like
did.
a truck, like a train? Like, where did it come from? Was it after the conversation with him that night that you must have gone to bed and started thinking again? What happened? These are the great moments.
Yeah, it just came out of the blue. I can tell you where I was. I was sitting outside the, the QE2 hospital in Perth at the intersection there in the car, and the idea just hit me out of nowhere, and I was just like, oh my God. And I just went, that's a really big idea. And I went, oh, okay. And something in me was going, oh, I could do this if I decide to do it. And I went quiet for the rest of the day. I didn't tell anybody about this idea for a long time, and just kept it to myself, because it was really, when you have one of those epiphanies and it just really shakes you to the core. So it took me a long time to actually decide to do it. Yeah.
Wow. Tyler Howard, I love this comment. Tyler's just gone, this just in, Twitcher takes flight. I do like that one, Tyler. You've already smashing that back at us. And we're only just getting into the epiphany. We're kind of up in the clouds here. I mean, from looking up at someone in a glider or a hang glider or a Cessna or even back to Amelia Earhart and these inspirations. I mean, it's one thing to go, oh yeah, this is an interesting idea, but you've had to basically say, all right, I got to learn about these microlights. Where did you begin?
Yeah, so I'd never flown before. I didn't ever have dreams of becoming a pilot or anything like that. No one's a pilot in my family or anything. So I just looked up microlight schools in WA, and there was Sky Sports Flying School about 200 kilometres east of Perth in York. So I went, I better see if I actually like flying this thing. And I booked a trial instructional flight out there, and I went out there and so I just went and had a flight with Gordon Marshall, and I absolutely loved it. I thought it was the best thing I'd ever done. Yeah.
Wow. I noticed this comment here from John that he was flying over Cooma with the wedge-tailed eagles up close in amazing experience. I mean, that's effectively, So you started to take lessons how long ago, just to give people the time frame?
Yeah, so I took that trial instructional flight at the end of 2015, and then I started training properly in April 2016, and it took me about a year to go solo and get my recreational pilot certificate, because I was working full time and I could only go up on weekends, and sometimes the weather would be crap because you only have really limited conditions that you can fly in the microlight. So I just had to persist and keep going, but I got there eventually. Yeah.
Wow. I mean, were you scared?
People ask me this all the time. I've never felt scared in the microlight. Like, it's an open cockpit and you can see the ground underneath you. The microlight I trained in, we call them trikes. That's the slang for microlight, is a trike. So they've got 3 wheels. The trike that I trained in, it doesn't have a pod around the base, so it's just like riding a bike in the sky. Your legs are exposed, so you can see all the ground underneath you. And I know a lot of people don't like that, but I've always felt comfortable with it. You do get scared sometimes if it's bumpy and you get caught in some turbulent weather. That can be not so fun, but you learn to get used to it. Yeah.
Wow. I mean, there's people are scared enough of flight, full stop, getting in a big aeroplane, walking up and down, sitting and rah, rah, rah. But I mean, when you're out there, it's literally like being on a motorbike. You've got the wind coming at you. There's no wind field. It's pretty full on.
I liked it as like Hagrid's flying motorbike, but with a wing. Yes, like that.
Yeah. That's exactly it. I mean, Amanda said your interweaving of spirit is amazing. And Adrienne said, what did she say? It's fantastic to follow your dreams. I mean,
thank you.
Yeah, look, and on that point, I mean, there was nothing about dreams in this nitty-gritty aspect of learning how to drive/fly. So you've been dedicated to this now, this training process for April 2016. That's 6 years almost.
Yeah, so I finished all my training. So I got my pilot certificate, and then I ended up moving over to Newcastle from Perth at the beginning of 2018, as I mentioned earlier. And that was because I wanted to work. My flying instructor in Perth actually asked the guys who make the microlight aircraft, which is Airborne Australia. Those guys are based here in Redhead. Well, they used to be based in Redhead. They're now based at Lake Macquarie Airport. So they allowed me to come over and work in the factory with them. And I got to help assemble microlights in the factory with the Airborne boys at the beginning of 2018 for 6 months. And during that time, I'd ran a crowdfunding campaign the year before and got together about $18,000. And then I got sponsorship as well while I was here from lots of people, including Dick Smith and Peel Harvey Catchment Council and others. And I was able to help build my own microlight with the Airborne guys in the factory. It was really cool.
I mean, this is next level in terms of, most people wouldn't know how to change a tire, but like to actually understand the construction of the plane, I mean, that is a really surefire way to know and appreciate the magnitude of flying and the need for maintenance and understanding wear and tear and conditions, and what a great way to learn.
Yeah, I mean, I've got a L1 maintenance ticket with Recreational Aviation Australia, so I can do basic servicing on my microlight, but you still need a proper L2 maintainer to do all of the stuff on the engine. But yeah, I do have a much better understanding of how everything works and how it's all put together, and even just doing like pre-flight checks and stuff like that, you're a lot more thorough with all of that stuff. Yeah, the guys at Airborne are amazing.
I can imagine.
Yeah.
So there's a few sort of specific questions that people have been asking about the birds and the flight and all that, which we'll get to. I haven't put them up because I think it's nice, everyone, if we just sort of set up Millie's chronology so you can really appreciate where she's come from to be at this point, and then we'll go into the nitty gritty. So you had this idea, what, and then you said, all right, I want to, what was your intent behind the idea? Like from a science point of view, I'm beyond the goal, beyond the kind of inspirational and aspirational aspects. What's the nitty-gritty science basis on which you're connecting the science and the art and the heart?
Yeah, absolutely. Oh, I love this question. So when I was working in shorebird conservation, one of the biggest things we keep coming up against is just getting the word out there about how amazing migratory shorebirds are. I mean, they do these phenomenal flights every year from Australia all the way up to Siberia to breed every year and back again. And they live for, 20 plus years. We have records of birds that are quite old. So they're flying all the way to equivalent distance to the moon and back in their lifetimes just on migratory flights alone. So I was just asking myself, how do we get the word out there about these birds? So when I came up with this idea, I was like, well, I could fly the microlight. Well, originally I thought I can fly from Australia to Siberia and follow them on migration, which is still my dream one day. But at the moment, I'm planning to. I know it's just nuts, but I'm going to start with doing a lap of Australia first. So the idea is to get the shorebird word out there, tell everyone about how amazing and awesome migratory shorebirds are. And in doing so, we'll be meeting educational objectives and awareness objectives for Birdlife Australia's conservation action plan for migratory shorebirds. Yeah.
I kind of just wanted to recoil a little bit. Most people go, oh, one day I hope I can drive maybe to Cape York as a major distance thing. And you go, oh, I might get into this little structure that's pretty light that I can break down and put on the back of a box trailer that has a little lawnmower engine, and I'll go to Siberia. That sounds like something to do. Like that is.
It's so funny because I look back at my crowdfunding campaign when I did this back in 2017, and I didn't even have my pilot certificate yet, and I still managed to raise over $18,000 just off the back of this idea, and I wasn't even a pilot yet. And I just think it just speaks to the strength of the idea and how much it resonates with people. And obviously, that's such a massive milestone. Like now that I'm a fully qualified pilot and I've got many hundreds of hours under my belt, I realized how huge a challenge that is. And obviously I'm not at that point yet, which is why I'm like, well, let's fly around Australia first and tackle that challenge, and then we'll see where that goes. One step at a time, as they say.
And I mean, when I hear what you just said about one step at a time, I mean, you have been taking multiple steps at a time over, a long period of time, but at the same time, you're remaining true to the core motivation, which is the shorebirds. So tell us a little bit about how you've gone down the road with Birdlife Australia and how important that part of your professional life is to every aspect of achieving what you want to.
Yeah. So you mean to a little bit about my job, the work that I do with Birdlife?
Yeah, and how that's evolved and become what it is for you.
Yeah, for sure. So as I mentioned, I'm a project officer for Birdlife Australia's Migratory Shorebird program. So a big part of that is science communication and running shorebird workshops. So getting out in the community and working with people, telling them all about the amazing migratory stories of shorebirds and the importance of protecting their wetland habitats in the area. And also teaching people how to ID shorebirds, because anyone who's a bird watcher knows how notoriously difficult shorebirds are as a group to ID. It takes a bit of time to get to tell which ones are which because they all look annoyingly the same, especially when they're here in Australia. They're in their non-breeding plumage, so they're all like grey and brown and look the same. So I love getting out there and engaging with people and teaching them all of that bird ID stuff. But it's only so many bird workshops you can get out and do as one person with Birdlife. So being able to do a flight like this that's going to draw attention on a national scale, I hope, and get people following along as I travel around, it's just going to make a huge difference in terms of being able to get the shorebird word out there, as I like to say, and just share how amazing these birds are.
How do you feel the role of Birdlife Australia is impacting the community at large with things like the big backyard bird count and all of the activities they're doing?
Yeah, absolutely. Birdlife are fantastic when it comes to community engagement. So as you mentioned, there's the Aussie Backyard Bird Count. We've also got the Australasian Bitten Program. We've got a lot of citizen science programs at Birdlife with the woodland birds. There's the Regent Honeyeaters, orange-bellied parrots, the glossy black cockatoos, a whole suite of what we would call flagship species that are mostly endangered or critically endangered, and using those to engage the community and talking about the importance of protecting their habitats.
Wow! Now, I meant to mention a little bit earlier that in terms of the actual flights themselves, what sort of period of time can you go up for, and how far can you travel?
Yeah, so would you like to see a picture of the microlight? It might give people a better idea of the aircraft that we're talking about. So I've got my screen up. Are you sharing my screen, or how do I share my screen?
If you put it on your screen, can you share?
I don't think I can.
Let's see.
Hang on, I've got it there. Yep, I'm good.
Yep, should be there.
Thank you. Alrighty. Okay.
I like this one. Millie lives the ancient Chinese adage, the 1,000-mile journey begins with the first step.
That's it.
Or the first flap.
Can you see that now? Can you see the picture?
Oh, yeah, here we go.
Yeah, so this is my microlight. That's me flying over Redhead Beach here in Niue. So you can see it's an open cockpit aircraft. It's pretty small. It only weighs 240 kilos, which is very light, and the wing is fabric, and it's effectively a hang glider wing. So it's a powered hang glider. So it's what we call a weight shift aircraft. So you control the aircraft by, I'm actually holding on to a control bar that's connected directly to the wing. So the way I turn the aircraft is to shift the whole wing. So you move the control bar to the right, you'll turn left. If you push the control bar to the left, you'll turn right. If you pull the bar in, you'll go faster and the aircraft will come down, descend. And if you push the bar out, you'll go slower and the aircraft will go up. So it's opposite to a fixed wing or a 3-axis aircraft.
Wow, did that take time to get used to? So it's a bit like sort of when you're driving a tinny, and if you want to go to the right, you don't push your hand to the right, you push it to the left, which is kind of that opposite thinking.
I guess so. I've never driven a tinny myself, but it sounds like it's similar. I actually flew microlights before I flew fixed wing. I can fly fixed wing as well now. I've also got a general aviation recreational pilot license. So I went and did that so I could get a controlled airspace endorsement as well, because you can't do that in a microlight. So I had to continue my training and learn how to fly Cessnas as well. But it's it's opposite controls. So I got used to the microlight, and then I got in the fixed wing. And I don't know why, I've never had a problem with mixing the two up. So yeah, it hasn't been an issue. Yeah.
I like what Rachel said. We have shorebirds that hang out near where I live. I can hardly believe they can fly so far. They are awesome, and so are you, Millie.
Hi, Rachel. That's one of my friends.
Oh, that's
yeah,
nice.
Rachel's
Good
an
on you,
amazing
Rach.
bird artist. Yeah, Rachel's an amazing bird artist. Yeah. So have you ever been in a microlight, Costa?
My dad used to fly Cessnas. He used to fly the Shark Patrol up and down the coast of Sydney, which was in Alpha 1 or Charlie 1, which is the channel right along the coast and 500 feet. And we'd fly basically from, you know that one, from Palm Beach to Wollongong. And that's a 150, Cessna 150. I remember Dad taking me up and doing circuits, and that's only a 2-seater, and it flaps around like nothing else. And I'd be there on a Saturday morning feeling crook as a dog, and we'll go around again. And I'm like, not. But no, I haven't been in a microlight. Wow, no, I haven't gone that small. 150 is my smallest.
Yeah, right. Well, someone asked if I can take passengers before, and I can. And would you like to come flying with me?
Are you serious?
Yeah.
Well, can you believe that, everyone? This is a real offer, and I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it. It's like, this is like unreal. And is it true that we can do like what you did? We can do it as a live broadcast like this.
Yeah. Yes, we can. Yeah, we can absolutely. I did a live stream last week from the microlight. So yeah, we can live stream the two of us flying around Newcastle.
So Newcastle, I mean, the wetlands, the Hunter wetlands, tell us a little bit about those, because they are massive.
Yeah, so the Hunter is the most important shorebird area in New South Wales. It's the largest one, and it's an internationally significant site for sharp-tailed sandpiper. And one of the most important areas here is the Stockton Sandspit under Stockton Bridge near Newcastle CBD. That's one of the best places to go and see migratory shorebirds. And Hexham Swamp as well, Ash Island. So I can take you for a fly over Hexham Swamp. We can go check out Ash Island and then fly back down the coast to Lake Macquarie Airport. How does that sound?
This is someone, Paulie said that's a bucket list. My God, that's a bucket list, because a couple of years ago, I did a paraglider off a mountain in Italy.
Wow.
That was really cool.
Yeah.
Because you sort of have to run. So you're in front, and you have to run, and you run and run down this slope until the parachute grabs. And I remember the pilot said, just keep running. And I remember I knew, I thought it was like, okay, you want me to run, I'll run. And I ran. And then it catches air, and then my legs were just going in the thing. So that was incredible. I am so pumped about this. This is going to be the best. And I noticed a comment here. Who was it from? John Morrissey. Look at this one. Excessive beard drag.
I did actually wonder, because you'll have to wear a helmet, and the helmet is fully encloses your face. I was wondering, how are we going to fit your beard in there?
So on a flight like that, what's your flight time? How long can you go, like, within a safety amount of time? Like, how far is a tank of fuel, or 3/4 of a tank of fuel go?
Yeah, so the microlight, she doesn't use very much fuel. The fuel tank is 56 litres, and it only burns 10 litres an hour, so it's just over 5 hours endurance. Because I
Wow.
think I think 4 litres of that is non-usable fuel. Yeah, so you get a fair
Wow,
distance
5
in that
hours.
time. Except, she's not exactly the fastest aircraft in the sky. She's only ticking along at, 55, 60 knots. So for people who don't know knots, that's about 100 k's an hour. So she's not heaps fast, especially in a headwind.
Yeah, but I suppose the reality is, and as someone mentioned much earlier, you're flying with the birds.
Yeah.
They're not flying at 200 kilometers an hour.
No.
So you don't want to just leave them behind.
No, and you really get that experience of what it's like to be up there like a bird, and often see birds up there with me as well. So that's really cool too. Yeah.
Oh, wow. Lucy asked, did you see the Wild Goose movie? Someone else asked about that.
Yeah, I get asked this a lot. Yeah, Fly Away Home. People ask me about Fly Away Home. Yeah. And they say, are the birds, are you going to be flying with the birds? I wish I would be flying with the birds, but those geese were actually trained to see the microlight as like they imprinted on it. So they were training them to migrate, whereas, my shorebirds are wild, so it's probably not a good idea if they get too close. Yeah.
Do the birds get close? Do they sort of show interest in you, or do they take flight?
Most birds have a look at me and fly off in the other direction. I had a couple of pelicans. I took off at Maitland one time and had a pair of pelicans just over to my right, like really close. And I could see them give me the side eye and then just peel off to the right. I was just like not having a bar with me. But it was so awesome, having them so close. And I've been up at 2,500 feet before too, and flown alongside black swans, which was pretty spectacular. And
actually, someone asked that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah. What height do you normally operate at?
Yep. So as a recreational pilot, I can't go any higher than 10,000 feet, but I rarely go above 5,000, just, cruising around Lake Macquarie and surrounds. But it really depends on the flight and what kind of terrain you got to fly over and things like that. But if you're only doing a short flight, there's no need to go up heaps high.
Yeah. And you want to see the landscape and see where the activity is, and for all those reasons.
Yeah, I mean, you can go up higher if you want to get out of turbulence, like mechanical turbulence from the ground or whatever. That can get you out of it. Mm-hmm. Yeah. The birds might nest in your beard.
Yeah. Thanks for all the comments, everyone. This is fantastic. It's so lovely to see so many people on here and sharing in this wonderful spirit that is Millie. The one simple thing I wanted to ask. Oh, Kalamunda, the team from Kalamunda. You'd know Kalamunda. That's your home turf over in WA. I wanted to ask you the name of your project.
Yes. So my project's called Wing Threads, and the flight around Australia is Flight Around Oz. So it's Wing Threads Flight Around Oz. And something I haven't mentioned yet either is that I actually gave a talk about Wing Threads Flight Around Oz at the Australasian Ornithological Conference in 2019. And CSIRO Publishing were there and came up to me afterwards and asked if I'd like to do a children's book about my project. So, of course, I said yes. And I got the opportunity. So I've actually illustrated a children's book. It's called A Shorebird Flying Adventure. And the main character is Microlight Millie, so it's based on me. And I got to illustrate it myself. So it was very weird, drawing myself for a book. That book's going to be coming out in June and is part of the crowdfunding campaign that's happening at the moment too.
Wow, what a great way to sort of combine the crowdfunding and provide something for generations, for families to invest and individuals to invest, but then give the book as a gift or save it to give to someone else. Like, and I mean, the book is lasting. It's a wonderful opportunity to put that message into 3 dimensions.
Absolutely. And that's the idea, like flying around Australia. I'm going to be stopping at places along the coast and visiting schools and libraries so that we can share the book, A Shorebird Flying Adventure, with students and teachers, and they can also enjoy the flight at the same time. So it's very meta.
So what's the time frame on this?
Yeah, so I'm hoping to take off in May. So the original plan was to take off from Broome in May, but I thought the border was going to be opening in February. Obviously now that's been delayed. So fingers crossed it's still going to happen around that time. So take off from Broome in May, and then I'm going to head around the country anti-clockwise. And I think it will take me about 6 months. Yeah.
Wow. Now, just while everyone's here, I'll put all these into the comments, but jump on and follow Millie on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook, because if all of us get on there and follow her, it raises the algorithms, and it will get this message much farther and wider than Millie can do at the moment, because I know at the moment, there's only so many people that know about her. But with all of you on here today, if you share this live broadcast on your feeds and like what Millie's doing and add numbers to her socials, that will help all of the social benefits that social media can bring by oops, hang on, what am I doing there? I want to really yeah, there we are. So yeah, I'll put these into the comments so that you can click on it and give Millie a like, and keep an eye out for the things that are coming up. So May is the beginning of this 6-month odyssey. What's going on between now and May?
Yeah, so crowdfunding campaigns happening at the moment, and all things going to plan. We get the money raised and all of that kind of stuff. I'll be preparing to set off, so getting the ground crew sorted out, and making sure all our vehicles and all of that are set and ready to go. Obviously, putting logos and things like that from sponsors on the aircraft and the vehicles. And just making sure all of the logistics and everything like that are sorted before we hit the road. Yeah. What's
involved? Someone asked earlier, do you have a ground crew? What's involved?
Yeah.
What sort of help do you need on the ground? You're up there, you're moving a certain distance each day. What's the plan logistically?
Yeah, so I'm going to have a 2-person ground crew. At the moment, I'm gonna be putting out a call out to see if people out there would like to join me as volunteers for the ground crew. So if there's anyone out there if someone wants to join me on this Shorebird flying adventure, just DM me. I'd be really keen if you want to join me, even if it's just for part of the trip. You can come and join me. So yeah, basically driving the car. So as we travel from place to place, so if I'm flying from place to place, I'll be driving the car, helping out with logistics with getting fuel for the aircraft, because it actually runs on unleaded 95 or 98 fuel, like you put in your car. It's what we call MOGAS, and it's not avgas like you put in other aircraft, although you can run it on
That's
avgas.
handy.
Yeah, it is handy, but you can run it on avgas, but you have to do the servicing every 50 hours instead of every 100 hours on the engine. So it's a bit of a pain. So yeah, helping out with school visits and things like that as well. Just logistical stuff, mostly driving the car. You need to be able to back a trailer. That's the first thing. That's
the job. Yeah, the first thing that happens is you have to be able to do a demonstration backing of the trailer, and you either pass or fail.
Yeah,
There's no otherwise you're on school duties or on driving shotgun passenger.
Yeah, that's it. And have good music taste for the car drive.
Now, what did we have here? Looking at your back seat, Costa, in Millie's plane on Instagram. That looks cool. So am I in the back seat, am I?
Yeah, the seat is actually behind me. So you'll be sitting behind me. Yeah.
Oh, fantastic. Wow.
Yeah.
This is going to be amazing. So basically, I'll let you know during the week. But at this stage, because this is the other thing, and I know it from when Dad was flying. You've got to be really around the weather.
Yeah, you do. Yeah. Yeah. So my aircraft, because it's so lightweight, you have pretty limited conditions that you can fly in. So taking off and landing, limitations are about 15 knots. And for a crosswind, you don't really want to be landing in more than a 10 knot crosswind. Maybe other pilots can land in more than a 10 knot crosswind with the microlight, but that's, I find it hard to get it on the ground in more than that. Because it's really quite physical, as you saw. I mean, you got to push the wing around. So it's best to fly when it's nice and calm. So nice, calm winds. First thing right at the beginning of the day. So first thing in the day and in the evening as well, before the ground heats up and you start getting all that thermal activity. So that's the nicest time to fly. Yeah.
Wow. So here's a good question in terms of, is the best thing for people just to contact you as far as if they want to have you set an itinerary in terms of where you're going to land and schools you're going to go to at this stage?
Yeah. Yes. So if anyone would like to see an itinerary and a list of stopovers, if you go to my website at wingthreads.com and click on download project info PDF, that has all the information in there. It's also got all the information in there for teachers and educators about the book and which curriculum points in the curriculum that the book meets as well. So you can find all that info in there. Yeah. And yes, contact me if you want to be in the ground crew. I haven't put the call out yet for which schools I'm going to go to. I'm going to set up an application process at the end of the crowdfunding campaign. Yep. So teachers can apply for me to come and visit their school as part of the flight. I didn't want to do it until I made sure I had all the funding sorted out. So
yeah. So yeah. What's the website? www.wingthreads.com.
Yeah, just wingthreads.com. You don't even have to put the www in there.
Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah, wingthreads.com.
I'll just share that in the chat.
Mm-hmm.
So that's in the chat, everyone. So the crowdfunding is running. Is today the launch day? Is it?
Yeah. So we launched this morning. Last time I looked, we had over $7,000 already. So that's awesome. So the aim is we need to get to $75,000, and that's to cover the costs of the fuel and aircraft maintenance, as well as food and accommodation for myself and a 2-person ground crew over 6 months. So that's what we're raising the funds for. If people would like to donate, it's on the Chuffed platform. So I think it's chuffed.org/project/a Shorebird flying adventure. Oh, that's handy. It's on the screen. There you go. You can also go to Wingthreads and just click the donate button, and that will take you there as well.
Wow. Millie, this is really, and I'll come back in here. This is really exciting, and it's so lovely to hear the foundation on which all of your project is built. It's built on heart, but it's also built on hard work. and now you're getting to that stage where all of the investment of time and education and upskilling is now starting to play out. And from an education point of view, to be able to take this to schools, like this is beyond the shore. This is beyond like just the Shorebird flying adventure. This is going to connect children like Mr. Denby, was it?
Mr. Hogben.
Mr. Hogben. I don't know where I got Denby, but like Mr. Hogben. I mean, imagine for these children when they see a young lady who is upholding nature and birds and understanding and the importance of science and putting in time and having a plan, yet having a vision and dreaming, but realizing that dreaming involves hard work. It's not just like this is wonderful. It really is wonderful. I feel incredibly chuffed to be able to share your project with all of the people here. And as Annie said, you will be a role model. For many children. But as Paulie says, educating the future adventurers and zoologists, hard work and heart work. Exactly what I was saying. That's the thing, Jack Cass. You can't. I mean, hard work isn't going to just get it over the line because no one will know about it. And hard work can be nice and aspirational, but you've got to do the hard work to get it through. But when you combine the two, there's this chance to create a movement in people and a shift that pushes them to think in your time, in your framework.
Well, thank you so much, Costa. I think you summed that up beautifully. It's certainly been my experience. And I love that you brought up connection as well, because that's really at the heart of it all for me. And I often tell people that shorebirds have been my greatest teachers, and they taught me that we're all connected to one another. And their migration from Australia up to Siberia, it connects people throughout the East Asian Australasian Flyway, which is the name of the bird migration highway that they follow. It connects over 4.5 billion people in 23 countries and 3 continents. It's an enormous, it covers over half of the world's population, which is just enormous. And when you think of their migration, them stopping over all these wetlands on the way, it's like a chain with links in it. And wetlands in Australia are part of that chain. So it really frames our local wetlands in context of this global scale, and it shows us how we're also connected to one another through an ecological network. So they're really showing us that protecting these wetlands is not just for the birds, but for us too, because the wetlands also provide us with ecosystem services that are about our health and well-being as well. And that's really what I'm really passionate about. That's what really drives me in this project, is sharing that connection. And I really hope that through this flight, we'll be connecting people all around Australia with one another as they follow this flight, and also connect over, learning about the shorebirds as well, and the importance of protecting them in their wetland habitats.
And the thing that resonates loud and clear, as you said, these birds are traveling thousands of kilometres. We talk about biodiversity like it's not just about our backyard, because they are sharing multiple backyards. And when we keep our backyard clean, we're helping everyone's backyards all the way along that flyway. And when we think about, what difference can we make, or does it matter, or why should we worry about that wetland out there because no one lives there? Suddenly we realise that land use choices are totally in our control as a community. And when we stand up and say our land use choice is not to interfere with the groundwater, to not damage the surface water ecosystem services by searching for something that may provide some short-term gain. We realise that land use choices is everyone's business, and we need to be active and agitated about this, because it's not just ours, it's the world's. And your capacity to illustrate this stepping stone, this hopscotch, and that these birds, these little things that seem so lightweight and powerless, that they can fly this distance across so many countries without a passport. Their passport is those wetlands.
Yes,
and that's their mandate, is the well-being of those wetlands. And when they go because someone greedily wants to fill it in and build some resort, or build, more, fill it in because it's not amenable to their aroma or the smell, or everything that's happened over history. What you're doing is giving it context in 2022 and inspiring this next generation to stand with knowledge. And that's that difference between science and communication skills, to bracket the narrative and say, this is our business collectively.
Absolutely. No, I agree 100%. And and also, I forgot I was going to say something, and now it's completely fallen out of my head. What was I going to say?
That's all right.
Oh, it'll come back to me in a minute. You keep talking.
Oh, Jill said she's never heard the term flyaway before.
Oh, okay.
Flyaway, isn't it lovely? I mean, that if tonight's broadcast has just given you that story that you can share with your community, Jill, well, then this hour of conversation has all been worthwhile. And I know it's going to be a lot more than that. As Remember the Wild said, we're looking for funding with Millie to film the adventure, but the important thing is to get the flight funded first. And that's correct. And I believe, $70,000, when we look at the exponential capacity of all of just you out there in on the socials, if we all share this, getting it to 70,000 people to give $1 each, we can make $70,000 very quickly, let alone if everyone gave just the price of a coffee. But that's our choices, and I'm sure we will get this message out there, and I'm looking forward to getting up there with you this week. That's a blowout. That's going to happen in a couple of days. So what are you thinking? What weather-wise? Which day?
Yeah, I think Thursday morning looks beautiful, Costa. It's going to be lovely and calm. Not much wind at the moment, and it's going to be a beautiful sunny day. So I reckon Thursday's the day.
Thursday it is. Okay.
Yeah.
Now, the key thing, as you said, that is that it takes place in the morning. So what time should people expect? It's sort of going to take place sometime between 6 and 10.
Oh, yeah, sometime between 6 and 10. I reckon we'll probably take off maybe 7 o'clock or something. That's good.
Yeah, that sounds good to me. I'll be ready.
Yeah. I think sunrise is after 6 now. Yeah, so.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. This. Yeah. So, is there anything else you want to add just to the story before we go? We've been going for an hour. I think that's a wonderful Monday night chat.
Oh, that's a lot. That's huge. We've talked about the book and the crowdfunding, and I suppose I've been working with Remember the Wild for a while now. They've been helping me out with all the messaging and stuff, and we'd love to do a documentary film, but as they said, we need to raise funds for that too. So if anyone knows how we can sort something out around that as well, that'd be amazing. Yeah, we could do that. Yeah, what else do I need to talk about? We've shared about the birds and the book and the flight. I think that's pretty
on the
much
plane. Is there any?
plane.
Will we put it up? Any final questions, anyone? Thank you all for
Got a question.
being a part of this. It's so exciting. This just fits so many aspects of bringing contemporary science storytelling to the heart and soul of community. I'm really pumped. Jack Cass says in my hometown of New York, there's a major flyway near JFK Airport, a national park. Yeah, that's it. And I mean, the more we talk the language, the more people talk flyways, then the more that will generate its expression in media, and we can get more people into bird life. And then if you're into bird life, well, then you've got to be into plants, and that's plants and water and landscapes, they all go together.
Yeah. That's what I was going to say before. I was going to say, yes, we're all part of nature. We're not separate from it. We're all connected. And I think we often think of ourselves as being separate to nature. Nature's out there. We go and visit it for the holidays, but we're not. We're part of a whole. And seeing ourselves as part of that whole and understanding those interconnections, those ecological interconnections, and the importance of taking care of those ecosystems as a way of caring for people is part of that. Yeah.
A link in the chain. Exactly. Yeah. My glossy friends exactly. Spot on, Millie. We are nature. What a beautiful way to wrap it.
We are nature. Yes. Thank you so much, everybody. I've been loving the comments and just the support's so overwhelming. And thank you so much, Costa. I can't thank you enough. And for all of your promotion today on launch day. It's just been huge. And I can't wait to take you flying on Thursday. I think you're just going to absolutely love it. Yeah.
I think I got goosebumps. You can't see it from here, but I do have goosebumps. Like sitting in that little chair and going up over the Hunter wetlands. Wow.
Yeah, that's sick. You love it. It's so good.
I think I'm going to have to do a. This is my hotel. This is the hotel room where I'm staying here in Canberra. But I think I'm going to have to. I think out of sheer excitement, I'm going to do a flight.
Wow. I love it.
Well, as I said, everyone, I put in the comments all the links. So jump on and follow Millie on Instagram and Twitter and Facebook, and the links are there for the crowdfunding, and her website is on there as well. Feel free to share this as far and wide as you can, and thank you for the amazing comments. I just love it. This audience, you just take it in so much, and it's so wonderful to have you here and asking the questions that you ask, and it's been fantastic. So from here in Canberra on Wiradjuri country, it's been a joy, Millie, an absolute joy. Can't wait to meet you directly on Thursday morning. I'll go up and stay, and Millie, thanks heaps, and I'll see you Thursday.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Costa. And thanks everybody. It's been so much fun to chat to you tonight.
Thanks, Millie.
All right. See you later.
All right, everyone. Well, there you go. Wow. My favourite Monday night of the year. Full stop. I couldn't be happier. Thank you for joining in. Thank you for supporting Millie like you did. I knew that this would really activate excitement in all of you as well. So keep an eye out Thursday morning. I'll let you know both on Instagram and Facebook what time we're roughly going to go on. I'll just put some posts up just to give you an update by the time we have to do all the preparation and then, of course, taxi and get organised. But we'll put it on. We'll put the camera on. I know Millie's got a mount on the plane, and we can put the camera up there and then talk as we're flying. No, I can't wipe the smile off my face. Ange, good on you, Jack, sorry, and Amanda, how birdtastic. Yeah, it is. Suho, yeah, thank you, Millie. I second, third, fourth, and fifth that. So yeah, we'll share it. We'll share it far and wide, and then yeah, how exciting that! I can't wait to coincide some of my travels. I think it would be totally awesome in my travels over this coming the 6 months from the middle of the year onwards, that I can, maybe I'll be in Perth, or maybe I'll be in Adelaide when I know Millie's going to be there, and I can catch up and we'll do another chat and so on. There's so many options for this. I can't wait. So have a great rest of the evening, everyone. And yeah, thanks for Remember the Wild. Look forward to seeing how you engage with Millie's journey and document it for people long into the future to appreciate what this fearless flyer is undertaking and has been undertaking for many years now, for at least 6 years from the time she had her epiphany. So if you've got any more questions for Millie, just drop them on the bottom of the chat, and I'm sure she'll jump on there over the next day or so and answer any other questions you might have. And there'll be other questions that you asked earlier. Millie will jump on and answer them because they were coming in thick and fast. Good on you, farmer. Oh, Rodney. G'day, Rod. Can't wait to come back out and see you. So thanks, everyone. I'll sign off and leave your Monday evening to settle. I think I'll be bouncing off the walls here for a couple of hours at least. So from down here in Canberra, thanks for joining us, and see you a bit later in the week. Can't wait. Bye.